Welcome in, witches and wizards. This is going to both be a quick one, but also very important part of this manifestation journey that I'm sure you're on as well. It is up to you how you do it. And so today's not going to be on how powerful these mindsets or actions are. It's going to be on how different or how different the polarities are, and yet they still have an amazing impact on their life. And so, just a brief overview of manifestation: it's having an idea of your desired reality, taking action or being focused to the point that that desired reality can then become part of your real world. And I'm going to tell you how I do it first, or what resonates with me in terms of my mental state that I try to stay in. And I've always been very laid back. People have always called me lazy. Well, I've always said it's just what I was working on never really suited me. I was never interested in it, so it came across as lazy. But because I am very laid back, I would say I have the let it go method, which is realizing that what you are trying to manifest is already yours, and allowing it to just come in time. And it's being able to put your hands up and let go of the outcome, because deep within you there is an understanding that you are already wealthy, loved, or whatever you're trying to manifest in this world, and knowing that because you are already it, the universe only has to prove it to you. And yet this is from a very laid back approach. Now, I probably got this idea because the first manifestor I ever listened to or got this idea from was probably Jim Carrey when I was still a teenager. And I'm sure you've heard it as well. The story about how he got a bike, and the whole story, if you haven't heard it, is one of his teachers turned around to him and went, to have the best life, to manifest whatever you want. Well, he didn't use the word manifest, but whatever you desire, tell God, tell whatever you give as God. So in Jim Carrey's case, it was pray to God for what you desire, and then offer something in return, and then that thing will be yours. And so that's what Jim Carrey did. That night he went home, he told God in a prayer that he really wanted a bike, that all of his friends had one and he was the only one that didn't have one, and he would love a bike, and in return he will say a prayer for God each night. And lo and behold, most of us have heard this story, 2 weeks later he gets a bike from a raffle he didn't even enter. It was his friend that entered the raffle for him, and he won the bike. And that's how he's manifested the rest of his life. I love that approach. I love the idea of sitting back and being almost lazy, but it's being accepting of the abundance in the world that already exists. There are other ways of doing this, and it's try to listen to all three of these. So don't just skip when you think you've heard your one. Number 2. Now, this is a friend of mine that I've realized that this is a way of manifesting. Again, this is not how I would do this. This does not resonate with me, but I've seen it work. And they are extremely egotistical. They are extremely passionate about the things that they are doing, and they're a bodybuilder. But their whole stance on life has been, if you want something done, do it yourself. And to the point that their belief system is so strongly, it's so strong, their manifestation comes from sheer willpower. They do not allow the idea of doubt to enter their mind at any point, because they are disciplined and just like a bull in a china shop, just head to whatever they're aiming for until it arrives. Extremely powerful form of manifestation, or at least in my opinion, not something I would be willing to do. Because see, the reason you have to do it your way is if you do not find it fun, if it does not bring joy to yourself, well then you're just following someone else's life. You're not using your unique talents. And again, I'd recommend trying all three of these, but at the end of the day, maybe one of these three isn't even the way you're meant to manifest, and you're meant to do something else. But the final way, and I don't actually know anyone that's done it this way, but I was watching a TV show, and they did extremely well, and I was like, oh my god, that's a way of manifesting. The worry wart. Being so worried, being so fearful, and like they were being very open, they were talking about their worries, like you saw them physically panicking, but because they were basically hyper aware of every situation that could come. And so because of this hyper awareness, they were constantly prepared for anything that life or any challenges that could be thrown at them. And they were successful through worrying. Now, again, this isn't a form of manifestation that I would be good at, because I don't worry about anything. But I know lots of warriors out there that, well, how about you turn what you may see as a flaw or a problem with yourself as one of your strongest traits, that you can basically predict the future through these fears and worries of yours. And therefore, like, you gain a trust to deal with these issues, even though you know they are a problem and something you're going to worry about. So they're the three concepts. And it's either letting go, either being too passionate and egotistical, or being a worry wart. Either way, the point is you can do whatever you like within your own mental space and be extremely successful in terms of your journey, in terms of your desired reality. Now, I will piece these all together. And what I mean by this is, like, there's some common themes in all of these. First of all, and this is very important for manifestation, you need to understand or have an image of your desired reality. This is where, in my other videos where I've spoken about vision boards, affirmations, you need to know where you want to be in life. You need to know what you want to achieve and what would actually bring you joy and passion. Because if not, there's no point going, I've got all of these powers, I don't care what comes my way. Well, then the universe won't care what it throws at you. Again, your mental state may be the life I want to, like, in terms of the journey of your soul right now. It may be, I've been eternal, I've been all-knowing, and I just want to enjoy the passage of time. And then you don't need to pick a desired reality, because you are being successful no matter what happens next. But in my opinion, I would recommend having a desired reality you should be aiming for. Following that, the second thing that all of these three people have in that have in common is they have an idea of a solution. Letting go, it's the allowing the universe to take its course that allows it to come your way. The passion, it's your sheer will that allows you to manifest. And for the warrior, it's your worries allow you to be hyper focused and to deal with or take action towards that desired reality. So you have your actual desired reality, you have the action towards gaining your desired reality, and then the final one is being present. You have to deal with it now. So for the warrior, it's what am I worried about now that is just about to be a problem, or I can already start dealing with. So for the warrior, a big problem for a lot of warriors is they don't worry about today. They don't worry about tomorrow. They worry about what happens in a week or a month or a year's time. And they go, if I do this, then this happens, and then and well, then you're manifesting something that you'll never get to appreciate. Because at the end of the day, all of these things are still forms of manifestation, but it's the idea of the person that just wants to be the richest. Well, when you were a child, being the richest was having more than all of your friends, which could have been £100. When you were a teenager and you're about to go to uni, well, it's being able to pay for your accommodation and not use student finance. If it's you're finally getting a job, it's being able to start your own business up. So it's incremental. 25,000, 100,000 to buy your own place. You may need $1 million if you're living in London, and it's whatever you're comparing yourself to, and that number is infinite. You can be a millionaire and you'll start comparing yourself to billionaires. And so if you are only ever worrying about that far in the future, you'll never get to enjoy and appreciate your own manifestations. So the free rules to any mindset you decide to take, whatever is meaningful and you believe in, it's have a strong idea of that desired reality. Take action towards that desired reality. And then be present in those actions. You are not doing it for what's happening in a year. You may have a vision board for what is happening in a year, but that vision board is a rule set that allows you to deal in the present moment for that affirmation or for that desired reality to then appear in a year's time. I hope that makes sense. This was more of a download than anything else. I had a dream last night and I was like, oh shit, this is really cool. And then I started remembering all of these people in my life. So I hope that helps. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, do all of that jazz. And we'll carry on. The next video will probably be on the affirmation series next week. We're on number 4, physically taking action. So that will help if you're struggling with this as well. But from me, stay kind, stay cute, stay curious, my friends. And I'll see you all very soon.